Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I'm your host Rakesh, and here I am with another video on React.js series. And this video is all about use memo hook, and which is very helpful when you work with performance optimization on your application, right? So when you work with a lot of expensive methods, this use memo will really help you, right? So let's come back to the demo, guys. So where I will show you some of the useful example, right? And so that you will understand use memo, and also I will tell you how you can see that use memo hook being there in React tool, and so how you can see that what is happening behind the scenes, right? Okay, so now what you have here is it's a normal count update. Okay, so if you see here, if you click on it, it will immediately update your count, right? So because we are not doing any kind of expensive computation here, but we have one expensive method which will help us to do that. So let me call that here expensive value equals. So I'm just calling that method. So this method accept kind of two values. Okay, and let me define these two values. Let a equals 4 and b equals 5. Okay, so I have these two values, and which I'm passing here into this expensive method, and I'm calling that expensive method here, or maybe like printing that value here. So expensive value equals expensive values. Okay, great. So what you see here is expensive value 9. Okay, so now even if you click on this button, it keep updating, but you see there is a delay. So there is a kind of delay. So imagine you have so many like in your particular component you have 4 or 5 computation, heavy computation, which is taking some time. So just imagine, like, if you click on some kind of click button, okay, to update your value or something, right, and it is taking that much time. So what will you do? So you will use the hook called use memo. Okay, and it is pretty much similar in implementation like use effect. Okay, so and it accept these dependencies. So we have two dependencies called a and b. Okay, and what I will do in that curly braces, I will return this method. Okay, so that expensive call method we had, right? So I'm just returning that method. So now as we do this, so what you see, you still able to update your count, but there is no delay, right? So that means you have improved your code. So let me inspect and show you the tool. So this React tool, right, will help you to see your memoized values. Okay, so let's say you have one memo or two memo or three memo used in your particular component, right? So you see here we have used the memo, and we have this value up here. So if you click on this plus or basically the count update, so you able to update your state, but still your memoized value is remain same. So that is the beauty of your use memo. So now, so this is very basic example. So I have one more example for you, which you generally try to do in the real time applications. So I have created one search component, right? So where you have an input box, and you try to enter a value, and based on your value you will filter your data. So the data we are just getting it from file dummy.js, where I have just kept array of objects. So we have around 1000 values here. Okay, so we have 1000 values or number of records here. So what I'm doing here is, if you try to notice, I'll just comment that here, and so what you see, yeah, so let me call that here that particular search component search. Okay, so I have this component which I have called here. So what you notice, so if you try to write anything here, so I'm able to filter my data, right? So I have all my records here. So whenever I say ROSE, okay, so what we are doing here, we are filtering that particular array of object. So consider we just have 1000 records. So consider it's a 1 million record or 2 million records, right? So heavy computation, right? And if you try to notice, I am also doing couple of things here. So whenever I'm converting to, so whenever I'm just filtering, right, I'm converting to lowercase, so I have one more function to execute. So there might be one more method which try to do concatenation between your first name and last name, right? So these are the small computations, but there might be a more bigger computation to your method. Like I can do this using like I can directly do this. Okay, I can copy that here and directly paste here. I can do that here. I do not generally require this use memo when we are doing the very basic filter, but when we do heavy filtering, so definitely you should pass that particular computation to the use memo hook, right? So what you see here now, as we are already doing with use memo, and what I'm doing is I'm setting the value here, right? And you notice one thing, if I go to the search component, what you notice, so this memo hook is not having any kind of value, it's undefined. So the reason behind it, we are just filtering the data inside use memo, and we are just setting to the state. So doesn't mean it is not doing the job, it is doing the job. Only thing is you will see undefined here. So to solution to that is, whenever you work with use memo, you should return that method. Okay, you should return that method. So remember that part, return. Okay, whatever value you are executing there or doing something, so return that. So that return value you will receive inside this variable which we have defined, filtered data. Okay, so now what you can do, can still do all of your work. Okay, even though if you are returning, okay, I'm not setting here. So if I'm setting and returning, then also you should be able to do your job. Okay, red. So what you see here, memoized. So what you see here, memo hook also have a values like 5 values, and state also have values, but I don't think you required a state now. So what you can do, you just comment this out and just use that filtered data which you receive from use memo hook. Okay, now what you see, so if you reload here, so I say red, so now what you get is your memoized data. Okay, so this is one kind of use case where you can use memo. So there can be one more like debounce. So you might have seen debouncing your like, let's say when I click on like when I say red, so after a second or after a like 5 milliseconds or 3 milliseconds, you want it to execute your call. Otherwise what will happen, let's say you press, it will call to your server. You press E, it will call to your server. So if you wanted to avoid kind of multiple requests to the server, you can use debounce plus use memo to memoize your function executions, right? Okay, great. I think hope you have understood how we can use this use memo in our application. Okay, so wait guys, I am coming up with another video on use callback hook, which is very important. So you generally use memo and use callback in any kind of React application, and heavily we use all of these two methods whenever we talk about the performance and everything. Okay, great guys, and thank you so much for being here in this series, and please do like my video and subscribe to this channel, and please do press bell icon, otherwise you will miss the important video coming up in future. Okay, thank you so much, bye.